The Faze, Banks and Barley House situation took place over a month ago, and we thought it was probably over. But this has become more serious and shady than anyone could ever have imagined. And for anyone unfamiliar with the situation, go back to Banks' channel and go check out his video explaining the whole thing. Go check that out before watching this. But I assume most people, especially people who sub to me, they may know what's going on, as I've been tweeted a lot to make this video. So Barley House released a response video to Banks' allegations on the 29th of November. And only 5 days later, Barley House got a temporary restraining order on Banks and Alissa that completely stopped them talking about this situation on social media or anywhere. So this stopped Alissa and Banks speaking out against Barley House's new video, which had so many things wrong with it, so many lies and details wrong, and it was so fucked up that they just could not respond to this. However, yesterday, Banks got his temporary restraining order released and managed to make a response to Barley House's video. However, it's never as easy as that, because Banks was ordered by a federal judge to remove the video because apparently it violated their agreement with Barley House. I mean, what the fuck? How is Banks not allowed to defend himself against Barley House, who made all these false statements in their video? I mean, essentially, they're taking away his freedom of speech and the right to even defend himself. And the richest part about this is, at the end of Barley House's video against Banks, they say this:
"It's up to you out there to decide who was right and who was wrong."
It is up to you to decide who is right and wrong. The most hypocritical statement of 2017 by far. Hey guys, it's up to you to decide who's right and wrong in this situation. However, we're gonna make sure you decide as us, because thanks to our temporary restraining order, you won't be able to hear what Banks has to say. However, luckily, I managed to download Banks' video the minute it went up. I just downloaded it, and we can actually go through his defense, or at least the key points I think he made, and talk about what my opinions are on the situation, and hopefully give you guys a better understanding of this. So watching Banks' defense video, what really came out of it for me, and what really came through, was how Barley House were changing details of the story to really go against Banks at all costs. Like, every detail would go against Banks, and they changed things up and they made things up that weren't true. In Barley House's video, they show the security footage, but they have a commentator or a narrator, whatever you want to fucking call him. They have a narrator, and the stuff he says is just wrong, and he just assumes stuff, and he just plucks shit out of thin air, and honestly, it's fucking bullshit.
What you have to understand is the guy commentating who wasn't even there is putting words in people's mouth, changing little bits and pieces of the story. Perfect example, he says at a point in this video, Alyssa's mom tells the bouncer, "I'm sorry."
You can see Alyssa's mother patting the security guards on the shoulder, apologizing for what happened. Apologizing for what happened.
There's no sound in this. You're completely making that up. That's not part of the story. She never said sorry. She's just as mad, if not the most mad, about the situation. The situation is not aggressive at this point. That's not how this is going at this point. And then the guy says this.
Now he assaulted.
What?
He pushed him. He pushed him.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
He pushed him.
Where do you see me push the guy? Where do you see me push here? You can't clearly see anything that happened. You cannot see how this started. I did not push this guy. This is not how this happened at all.
One gentleman is just breaking it up. You just saw Mr. Banks throw a glass.
As you heard the guy say, I grabbed a glass. No, I grabbed a water bottle. Go back in the footage and watch the guy in the black the whole way through. Just watch him the whole way through. It might surprise a few of you guys. I throw a water bottle at this guy's face and I tell him, if he touches my girlfriend again, I'm beating his ass. The water bottle bounces off. This wasn't a glass. If this was a glass, his face would have been more hurt. It would have exploded. It was a water bottle. It bounces off clearly, like you can see in the video. This is a water bottle. They changed these minor little details to make me look even worse than I am. This was a water bottle.
I personally think this commentator is a piece of shit, especially when he's narrating the first fight.
One gentleman is just breaking it up.
I mean, in my opinion, that guy is clearly not breaking anyone up. He's literally grabbing Alissa and pushing her to the ground. Where is he breaking them up? And I'm sorry, if your girlfriend gets into a fight with another girl, you don't put hands on that other girl. You put hands on your girlfriend and you tell that little rat bitch to fuck off and get away and stop causing shit. You don't go and grab the other girl and start wrestling her to the ground. Like, what is going on here? And then they showed a second fight, and to me, I don't care. This guy is clearly grabbing Alissa by the neck. But the good old commentator says, this guy, he's doing nothing but he's trying to break up the fight.
And that guy did nothing but try to break up the fight with the two girls.
Well, this guy's girlfriend, the one who initiated the fight and punched Alissa, in the footage, she is way behind the guy. She's not even trying to go for Alissa. She's behind him, and the guy is not breaking up shit. It's not like there's a girl here and there's a girl here and he's trying to grab him and push him apart, like break him up. All he does, his girlfriend is behind him. He just reaches his arm out and just grabs Alissa by the throat. That's it. He's not breaking up shit. So that is two clear instances where this guy has put his hands on Alissa in an aggressive way. He wasn't breaking up the fight. I have no reason to see him breaking anything up. His girlfriend is the aggressor. If you're gonna break anything up, take her out of the situation. So this is Banks' reaction to the second time this guy puts his hand on Alissa.
From behind, here's Banks' sucker punch, back to the head. And that guy did nothing but try to break up the fight with the two girls.
Watching what Banks does, I don't give a fuck. I think most men, including me, would have done the exact same thing Banks did. If this guy is aggressively grabbing Alissa Violet or your girlfriend, for example, like that, you will do anything you can to get him off her and to make sure he just doesn't do it again. And to do it twice, like, it's perfectly justified. I don't care. You don't touch anyone, let alone someone else's girlfriend or a girl. It's fucked up, and I have no problem with what Banks did. I'm sorry, I don't. Now, what I do disagree with is Banks going onto social media and just blasting Barley House and, you know, taking this onto social media in the first place. I think this situation did not have any place on social media whatsoever. Here are the initial Snapchats that started this whole thing.
Good night, my friends. Barley House in Cleveland just literally tried so much shit. They fucked us up in Cleveland. No one go to Barley House. I'm about to file a lawsuit. They fucked the fuck up.
Barley House in Ohio, Cleveland. Fuck this place. These guys just fucking choked me out because this guy tried to grab my girlfriend's ass. Fuck Barley House in Cleveland. This should be on TMZ tomorrow.
So from the first Snapchat, you can clearly see Banks said someone tried grabbing Alyssa's ass and someone tried choking him out. So he's claiming that sexual assault took place, and it's funny, especially for someone like me, because Banks, ever since his first Snapchat, has never mentioned the sexual assault shit ever again. And in his defense he posted yesterday, he never mentioned it either. So you start to think to yourself, well, what? Did Banks just lie about it? Why hasn't he mentioned it again? It's a very serious accusation. However, this defense Banks uploaded yesterday was not the original defense video. I have been leaked the original defense video by a fan on Twitter who re-uploaded it to his channel, in which this video he fully addresses the sexual assault claims and why he hasn't talked about it and why he retracted it.
And then I made the mistake, admittedly, of going on social media. And despite how embarrassing this clip is, it's the original Snapchat that I posted, and I want to be as transparent and open with you guys as possible, so I'm gonna play it right now. This place, these guys just fucking choked me out because this guy tried to grab my girlfriend's ass. It's so cringy and it's so embarrassing, and I wish I never posted it, but it is what it is. This is the part where I wish I slowed down. I wish I didn't do this. I was mad about getting choked, dragged up the stairs. Like I said in my original Snapchat, I wasn't lying about that. That actually happened. I said this guy grabbed my girl's ass because she said someone grabbed her ass in the mix of everything. I don't know who's responsible for that, but Alissa wouldn't just lie about that, so it obviously happened. I don't know that it was Barley stuff, so that's why I deleted this Snapchat. I deleted this Snapchat later that night. I didn't want anybody to misinterpret them grabbing their ass. I saw tweets about like, oh, you guys got. I didn't know for sure. That's why I didn't push that narrative. That's why I didn't tweet about it. That's why I deleted that Snapchat. And I apologize if anybody misinterpreted it that way. I am sorry. I shouldn't have ever posted this on Snapchat.
So for me, this segment in this video that wasn't in yesterday's upload very clearly explains why he hasn't mentioned it ever again. He deleted it. He didn't want to talk about it again. Alissa told him someone did it, but he had no proof, and he said sorry for saying it. He's literally said he wished he calmed down and didn't say it. So why was this not in Banks' video yesterday? Now, I was thinking about it, and Banks would not delete this part from the video at all. I just couldn't see it. Why would you delete such a crucial piece of information that people could construe into you lying? No, that is not it. So I'm thinking, is this agreement Banks has with Barley House, a temporary restraining order and making videos online? Do they decide what goes into Banks' defense video, or do they edit things out? Does Banks have to show people what is in his video, and does it get edited out, and can he not say certain things in his defense video? If so, that is extremely fucked up. Like, that is against freedom of speech. He can't defend himself. They're giving him no platform to defend himself, and they're censoring what he can say. How is that a defense video if you can't say what really happened or what you really think? It's really messed up, and I really think that is some shady shit going on from Barley House. It's completely baffled me, and the only people we get answers from are Banks or Alissa, and they can't say shit. However, another revelation Banks made in his defense video yesterday is that the guy who assaulted Alissa, he was not part of Barley House, he's not affiliated with Barley House, and he apologized for that because originally what everyone thought, because what Banks said, is that he was a part of Barley House staff, and that's why he was blasting Barley House, because some of their staff assaulted Alissa.
The major point where I went wrong in all this was identifying this guy as Barley staff. This guy hit Alissa, okay? This guy's girlfriend hit Alissa multiple times. Like, you guys already saw her face. Like, something obviously happened to her. As her boyfriend, as somebody who loves her, this drove me insane. It killed me to see it. It still hurts me to see it. She's still not 100% better, and it just sucks. Why did I identify this guy as Barley staff? I'm gonna give you guys the timeline of how all this happened, but the guy came up to us and told us he was Barley staff. He told us to get the fuck out of here. I asked who he was. He told me he was Barley staff. His girlfriend had hit Alissa at this point, and he had put his hands on Alissa, and that drove me even crazier than what had happened before with the Barley staff, with somebody who's actually a part of Barley staff.
So now you can see why posting to social media straight away like that was the wrong thing for banks to do, because you don't have all the facts together, you don't know who's who or what's what. So when you instantly post a video and you bash a business, you know, you need to have all your information correct. However, Banks in his video does apologize for using his social media like he did.
Should have done a way better job at confirming this. I shouldn't have just jumped right to social media. I shouldn't have just ran with that. I should have did my job and been more responsible with my platform. And I'm sorry. I take full responsibility for that.
You know, he holds his hands up. He says he fucked up. He's wrong. There's not much more you can ask of him. Obviously, this revelation that this guy didn't work for Barley House makes it look a lot worse that he blasted Barley House. However, Barley House are not in the right. Barley House also are in the wrong. And I'm going to explain to you why I think they are too. Obviously, the first thing is that stupid video they made where that guy narrates over the security footage and they get so much information wrong. Like, that is just the worst. They should not have made that. And Banks says in his video as well at the start that they pushed it on YouTube. They paid to promote it all over YouTube. So they're clearly just pushing this false video to make Banks look worse.
In the meantime, while Alissa and I are unable to speak, they put out ads on YouTube, sharing this video, spreading it as far across the internet as they could. Again, with mine and Alyssa's inability to defend ourselves or speak at all about it.
And the second thing is that the Barley staff, I think, could have done a lot more to make sure Banks and Alissa were safe. You know, the first instance takes place right on their property on the patio. Why are the bouncers not seeing this, breaking it up, and ensuring these couples don't meet again? I've had experience in nightclubs in England. If two people get in a fight, even outside the fucking club, they make sure these two people don't go near each other again because they don't want that on their hands, whether they legally have to or not. Morally, you should keep these people away from each other to stop them beating the shit out of each other, and potentially they could kill each other because there's been freak accidents that people have just hit their head on a curve after being punched and died. And Barley House would know a thing about that. There was an instance outside Barley House in which a customer actually died because the security failed to break them up outside or just make sure they weren't near each other. The headline reads, Michael Corrado of Mentor dies after fight outside bar in Cleveland. The article says that these two guys are fighting inside Barley House. The bouncers broke them up and chucked them both outside Barley House, left them to it. As a result, one of them punched the other guy and the other guy hit his head and died. Now this article shows like Alissa Violet and Banks the lack of protection that Barley House has for its customers, especially outside the establishment. Now, I get it. Maybe legally, they don't have to protect their customers outside of their property, but morally, I think they do. If there's two customers who got drunk in your establishment, and when you're drunk, you make stupid decisions, and you see they're gonna fight, and you let them fight outside your establishment because the guy died outside a Barley House, then as a business, you should protect them, and you should make sure that they just don't meet again and just don't hurt each other. But, you know, Barley House don't do it, and I'm not surprised, because Barley House's morals, you know, they seem like a pretty scummy establishment. I also found this video on YouTube 5 years ago of this guy saying that Barley House refused him entry because of the color of his skin.
I was actually going out to support one of my friends who is DJ Ruckus, and I heard that he was spinning downtown at the Barley House. He get to the establishment. I asked the guy at the door, I said, hey, is DJ Ruckus spinning tonight? So he says no. He points across the street to Martini 6 and says he's over there. Once I walk over there, I ask the guy over there, I said, hey, is Ruckus here tonight? He said, no, he's over at Barley House. Go back over to Barley House, guy at the door. He says, well, you can't get in. All right, why? He says, you have on a tank top. No problem. It basically goes against dress code. So I'm like, all right, no problem. So I go to walk away, and a white guy walks past me. He has on pretty much the same thing I have on, except for his tank top was white. and he had on some cargo shorts, walks right in. So I'll go back over and I say, is there a particular time that the dress code expires or something? Because clearly this guy just had on, the same thing I had on, and he says no. You have on cargo shorts. He had on cargo shorts too. You know what I mean? Like, it got to be something more than that. So he's like, yours have fatigue on it. So I say, well, are you just trying to find something wrong with, what I have on? Because clearly I'm looking and tank tops all over the place, cargo shorts all over the place, guy with army fatigue shorts on. The only difference is none of them are African American. I'm not a fan of being that guy to put a race card and to say, hey, is this, is that. But a fact is a fact. And it is what it is. I feel that I was discriminated against when I was at their establishment.
And this is on a channel with barely any subscribers, barely any views, and 5 years ago. I doubt this guy was lying. I doubt this guy made this video for attention. It's Barley House. They weren't even relevant 5 years ago like they are now. This guy is probably telling the truth, and just shows that Barley House has very poor and scummy business practices. If Barley House protected Alissa and Banks when the fight first broke out on their property and just separated Banks and Alissa from this other couple, right? They just do that. None of this event happens. Banks will not go on for social media and blast them. There'll be nothing. They would have been broken up, and that would have been that. So Barley House could have done their part to avoid it and are in the wrong. But also, Banks and Alissa could have just left. They could have just left and the situation would have been done. But to counter that, Banks has said that he lost his expensive Gucci bracelet when being roughed up by the bouncers downstairs.
All at this point I wanted was some help. I was asking, where's the manager? Give me the manager, bring somebody out here. I want my bracelet.
Banks had a reason to stay there. He wasn't just staying there looking for trouble. But I want to know your opinions down below, and I'm sure this story is going to continue to get juicier and juicier. Down below, comment what you think. Leave a massive like if you agree with my opinion, or just if you enjoyed the video. I want to know what you think. Please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 600k by the end of the year. That would be amazing. My Twitter is @KavosYT. My Instagram is Pierce_Cav. Go follow them for the latest updates on everything. That's it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Until next time, fuck off.